Alright, so I haven't made a video in God knows years. I'm not really about the video life anymore. But I just wanted to make a video of the Heretic Red Eyes deck that so many people have been asking me about, and what's the engine I play, and how many different versions of this have we gone through and stuff, because there's been a lot. So, if we bring it down here, we hit that light. Alright, so I played a shit ton of builds, Red Eyes and company, and I've came to the general conclusion that Konami has kind of half-assed the Red Eyes support, but of course it's all high rarity, so they can make as much money off of it as possible for all the nostalgia kids and whatever, but hey, it's whatever. You gotta work with what you get. So the thing is, I've gone through infinite different builds, alright? And Heretics was always an idea because I used to play Heretics back in 2012. But people would give me and be like, "You play the Heretic Red Eyes deck," and I'd be like, "No," because I kind of hate the YOLO aspect of that. It's all in, and I'm not about all in decks really. But I tried it out, realized it's actually pretty much the fastest version of this deck. So without further ado, let me get into this real quick, and I'll give you guys my build, and then I'll show you the combos I can do with it because there is infinite combos you can do with it. Also, I was also the one that came up with the Malefic Red Eyes idea in Red Eyes Ravine decks, but I don't think the Ravine deck is quite nearly as strong as this one. So giving you this, I got one Labradorite. Let's get this down here more. Because you need a level 6 to bring out with your Heretics, and you need a tuner to bring out Ultimate Zolkin, which I'll get into in a second. But you just need a level 6 in general, and I figured the tuner is better than nothing else. Bring out the Starrier if you need it. Play triple Red Eyes Black Dragon, because it's the centerpiece of the deck. I say that loosely only because you're playing the Heretic combo, so you can, in theory, get away with doing stuff without Red Eyes, but it's literally what you're going to go into if you're tributing more than one Heretic at a time. One Black Flare Dragon. You only play one because in this build, in other previous Red Eyes decks, the goal is get as many Red Eyes in the grave as possible, and you play as many Red Eyes as possible to fuel your draw card, which is why Malefic Red Eyes was so good. And but in this version, you're playing Heretics, so you can't summon this from the deck because it's not a normal monster in the deck. It's only a normal monster in the hand or grave. Or field or grave, I'm actually not even sure anymore. Yeah, hand or grave. And on the field, obviously, it's a Gemini. So once you have it in the grave, it's nice to bring it back and Gemini summon it and swing for 48. But you only really need one, and honestly, you could play it without it, but I like having the option of being able to make a card that can swing for 48 one shot. Next up, card no one, I'm sorry. Yeah, no one ever expects me to talk about, and in general, no one knows what the fuck it does, is Heretic Dragon of Asar. Alright, so this is a Heretic that has been around the game forever, but no one's ever used it because it's level 7, and the point of the Heretics back in the day was the rank 6 engine. This thing's 26 beat stick. You can special summon it by banishing a light, I want to make sure I'm saying this right, a light dragon monster and a dragon type normal monster from your graveyard. If it's destroyed, you contribute another heresy you control instead. The second effect's kind of irrelevant. The main thing is, first of all, it's 26 beat stick. Second of all, it's at level 7 you can overlay with and make your footer metals and what have you. And it's super easy to bring out. Back in the day, you never want to banish, essentially it was banish a Heretic on a normal monster because you only play like 2 to 3, being Wattail, Labradorite, sometimes Luster. You didn't want to banish those because those were key pieces, especially when you only ran a tuner and a non-tuner. But in this, you're playing Red Eyes. So banishing, first of all, most of the time you still banish Labradorite with this because once you've used it once to either summon an All-Tomb or an Ultimate Zolkin, you don't need it anymore. So banishing that in a random Heretic is easy, and it's just a free monster on the field. But you can also banish your Red Eyes. You really only need one Red Eyes in the grave to do the loop. So you can banish one and you'll be fine afterwards. So 2 of these. I would play 3. I played 3 in previous builds because I played more cards like Sacred Sword and stuff. But this build only plays 2 Sacred Sword because I don't like drawing through the deck and hitting the cards you can only activate once per turn because then they end up being dead cards in the hand. So we got 2 of these. Then you got your Heretics, your main Heretics. You got your 3 Tefnuit, obviously you need those. You got your 3 Sue. You got your 3 Aset, and you got your 3 Nepthet. And the reason I maxed out on all of them is because you want to see as many as possible. This will blow up monsters, this will blow up spells and traps. This is actually especially good because it can copy any normal monster and turn all your heretics into that same level. So if you copy a Red Eyes, all your heretics become level 7, and that's really fun. And obviously Pt.1 are the ones you can summon for free, basically, kind of, to get your combo rolling. But that is the regular heretic engine. Finally, the last monster in the deck is Darkness Metal Dragon, because we all know why this is broken. And honestly, this is actually the heretic build that, for the first time ever, in my opinion, doesn't need this card. There's no reason not to run it. It's kind of similar to, actually, I'm going to say the same thing about Soul Charge. You don't need Soul Charge either in this deck, surprisingly. But there's no reason not to play it. Your combos can actually come out with all of those cards, without either one of those cards, and you still will have a pretty good time doing so. But anyways, spells, we don't play any traps in this field. I have played Reckless Greed in the past, but I'll explain why I'm not playing it in a second. Convocation is your Rhoda, so, I mean, no reason not to play that, right? We got Triple Upstart. I hate this card with a burning passion. The only deck I ever approve this card in is Cleaves, because the amount of damage you rack up in Cleaves doesn't even matter until you have 1,000 life points. This deck, it matters a little bit more, and granted, Flare Metal can burn them through the Upstart, but you'd rather be burning them through game versus through the Upstart. And yeah, it essentially does do both, if you get the combo right, but it's a bitch to get through that extra 1,000 if you don't have the right hand to deal with it. Granted, this deck a lot of the time does have the right hand to get through it, you know what I'm saying? 2 Sacred Sword, because 3, like I said, I hate drawing multiples of a card you can only activate once per turn. Otherwise, I'd play 3 of this and I'd play 3 of Sorrow, but it just slows it down a little bit. But this is still very good, mainly because you can, even if you don't have a 7, you can bring out Red Eyes off your tributes, and if you don't specifically need 1 on the field, you can just banish it right there for the free 2 cards, which is nice. 1 Shrine. Now, people will be like, why not 3? This isn't like most of the Red Eyes builds. Most of the Red Eyes builds, you need to dump as many Red Eyes to the graveyard to start looping. This build, you only really need 1. Once you hit this, I'm just playing this over foolish because it's strictly better. Once you hit this, you send usually the Gemini, because it's still in the deck, and either another Red Eyes, or just a random dragon. Sometimes you send Heretic, so it's ours live, but you just need 1 in the grave, because when you make a Flare Metal, if there's no Red Eyes in the grave, you can't detach, especially something that when you detach, you need to have a target already in the graveyard. So unfortunately, you need to hit 1. So this is really good for that, but as soon as you hit 1, you don't need this card anymore, and it's just dead, especially if you draw multiple, because you're like, oh god, well I already hit the Red Eyes, so I don't need this anymore. I've got some proxies because I wasn't fully into this build until recently, so bear with me after I get through this. Obviously, play 1 Soul Charge again. With Darkness Metal and this, I feel like they're not even necessary, but you play them because you can. It's just one of the principal matters. If you resolve this, you probably win the game. It's the same with the Darkness Metal Dragon. Alright, so I'm going to go through this first. We play Triple Terraforming. Yeah, I don't have 3. I don't know why. The reason we play 3 of this is we're playing 1 Pseudo Space, and we're playing 3 Chicken Game. Now, Wise Man's Jealous. I don't have Chicken Game. Chicken Game, the set's been out for, a week, and I just haven't really cared. I haven't been playing this game much, guys, recently, so, you can't, get on there for that, but, just pretend it's a Chicken Game. The thing with Chicken Game is you play it, you minus 1,000, you draw a card. Fantastic. What's cute about it is if you use it and you don't have your combo pieces yet, it should be saving you from damage, and it does make them waste cards to blow it up if they don't want it. If they also want to draw, otherwise they just play 1,000 blow it up themselves. We're playing only 1 Pseudo Space because drawing this early without this is the deadest thing in the world. You don't want that. I almost didn't play this at all, but I do like having the extra 1 of just in case. I'm also not playing Into the Void. I would love to be playing Into the Void, but that card is like $35 a piece. And honestly, you only activate it when you know you're going to go off, because if you don't go off, you're losing your hand, and that's kind of risky, so I'd like the Upstart over that, but they're both shaky in their own respects. This is shaky too, but
I found with 1 it's whatever. When I was playing 3, you just draw it dead, and it would be pointless in your hand. But these are to search these and this, and what's nice about pseudo is if you activate Chicken Race, you draw a card, you just get rid of it, you activate this, you banish this, you pay another 1,000, and now it's not in the field to shield your opponent from an OTK, because that is the only downside of Chicken Game that I didn't like about this originally, is the fact that whoever has lesser life points doesn't take damage. So the thing with that is, if that's the case, you can't, not only can you not OTK through that, you can't burn them with red eyes for a game, which is really annoying. So you need to get it off the field as soon as you have your combo. Pseudospace does that, and what other card does that, which is really nice and pairs really well, is Triple Wing Beat. Originally it was siding this for the matchups that's good. Now it's just good in general because you field spell in the field, you draw your cards, and then if you can't get it off the field, you just Wing Beat a monster back to your hand. Specifically, it makes Autumn better because you bring out Darkness Metal, and that was the combo back in the day, was that you Wing Beat the Darkness Metal, blow up the spell and traps on the field, and you get your Darkness Metal back, and you bring it out in full power. Now it happens a little more often, so I actually would say Darkness Metal is actually a permanent fixture in this version, but this card's fantastic. Anytime you go against this and you're not expecting it, you really hate the fact that it exists, because it's literally Heavy Storm, especially when you special attack through it, and you just special attack through it back afterwards. Alright, so going through before I hit the extra deck, cards I'm not playing that I was playing before. Obviously I said Triple Reckless Greed. It's too slow. It's really too slow. I love this card, but I hate this card. Everyone loves and hates this card. It's too slow because you need to go off, and if you draw into it to try to go off, and instead you'd like hit a Chicken Race, if you hit this, you're like, well, I gotta either go off with what I have, or risk setting it, YOLOing it next turn, not dying, and then flipping it, even if they have a better field. And it's kind of shitty. It just puts you in a bad situation, so I tend not to like this. Was playing it before. Before I was playing the Chicken Race engine, which is right now in my deck 7 cards. Well, 8, because I actually did main 3 Wing Beat, but let's just say 7. It was these. It was then 2 Maxi and 2 Baylor. Now, do I recommend siding with Maxi and Baylor still? Hell yes. Reckless, probably not so much still, just because whatever. Maxi's fantastic in here, Baylor's fantastic in here, they're in their both own respects. This just stops some key play, like a macro type monster in the field, or like something that would screw you over, like a Trish, for example, to not happen. And Maxi's fantastic in the deck, but I do hate drawing multiple, so it's only going 2. You draw so much in this deck that you'll definitely hit 1, and this does go the distance. The reason I was playing Baylor over Breakthrough Skill was I needed Maxi to draw me into something in the Baylor. You actually could also play Gores, but what I hate about Gores is that Tefnut becomes dead. Granted, you don't rely so much on Tefnut in this build, but you definitely do rely on it at some point. But I would probably side, if you're siding Maxi, side Gores too, because Gores is in 7, so you can also do stuff with that and overlay. And yeah, the extra cards are just another ASR, another Pseudospace. This was more or less in the build that was playing more Sacred Swords. I don't actually know what my 3rd Sacred Sword is at the moment. This was with more Chicken Races. I never really played the 3, but again, it was just so dead. This is a really good card. This you only ever hear me say that in this build. It's a really good card in this build. If you only rank 7s, this is definitely a card to play. No one knows this exists. The Heretics have been out the same amount of time as the rest of the Heretics, but 26. If you would drop a 28 being a Flare Metal or a Darkness Metal or something, this and an Autumn with a Gaia Charger over, that's an 8,000 right there. That goes the distance. And getting out the Michael obviously is more than again, which means, because it activated, which means Beals are activated, this will activate, and it's an infinite loop. This will just kill them off until they're dead, because they're on death and such. Beals will get super high, but there's nothing that'll interrupt that, so you win. What else is in this pile? Stuff. Ceasefire goes a distance, not gonna lie. If you build up a field but you didn't stop them, Ceasefire will finish them, believe me. Fairy Wind also goes the distance because of the burn damage, and against clues, you just don't want stuff on the field anyways. I was playing Malcav, but I thought this to be ultimately just way too slow, but it does also give you field spell off the field if you're playing the slower version. Just random stop cards. Blackhorn is just really good right now. Torrential is just really good because your Red Eyes floaters can't be destroyed by card effects or other materials. Emptiness is decent because you build a huge field and then you just sit on emptiness, but you don't want to fuck yourself either. I said Ceasefire. And Gauntlet Launcher and Photon Strike Bouncer. I don't know what that is right now. The only other level 6s I thought of giving a crap about in this deck, because Bouncer can burn them for the extra 1,000, but he's not really a huge wall, whereas this will just blow up 2 monsters, and then you just swing or put a guy over this and swing, which is nice for game.